What I'd like to do is show you, again, turmeric. This is about getting turmeric into your food. And there's so many delicious ways just to sneak it in, sneak it here. And this is, I love cauliflower. And so I'm going to show you 3 ways to turmeric using cauliflower. 3 ways to turmeric cauliflower. So first we're going to make turmeric cauliflower. Then we're going to turn it into a couple different things that I think you're going to really enjoy. And so first of all, we're going to roast the cauliflower. And what you want is about 4 to 5 cups of cauliflower. This is a huge cauliflower. I don't know, that's going to be way more. That's like the biggest cauliflower I've ever seen. But I'll break it down for you, and we'll use 4 to 5 cups of it. Then we're going to use a tablespoon of turmeric, a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of salt. We're going to be using about a 1/4 cup of water, and then 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. And you can use whatever kind of fat you want. I use coconut oil in this recipe, but whatever fat you like. And then we'll use, again, I always like to put some kind of fresh herb garnish on my food, and so we'll be using cilantro as a garnish. So let's get this cauliflower broken down, and we're going to bake it first. So I like to just cut this center piece out so you can break it down into florets. The thing about when you bake your cauliflower, it's one of the things is to try to get your florets around the same size, because if you have little tiny ones and big ones, then when you go to eat it, some are super crunchy, some taste like mush. And so when you break down your cauliflower, it's good to try to get your florets into kind of the same size. So that looks like about 5 cups. So what I'm going to do is just break these. Okay, I'm going to break these down into pieces like this. Okay, so there you have it. Some people, they take all the stems out, but I like the stems too. They're yummy. Okay, so then what you do is you prepare, so you put about a 1/4 cup of water in a bowl, and then you add your spices. And so we're going to add the turmeric, and what? We're going to add cumin, and I'm almost out of paprika. And then we're going to put in our salt, and then we'll mix that all together. And then we're going to put the cauliflower in here and get it all covered with the spices. Okay, so get your cauliflower. And so what we're doing is we're going to be cooking the cauliflower and just adding, cauliflower is one of those vegetables that it doesn't have a ton of flavor, but whatever you mix it with, this is more than 4 cups, 5 cups. This is more like 6 cups. See? And you just get the cauliflower get the spices all mixed in. So the cauliflower is covered in the spices. There you go. Okay. Then you go ahead and put it in a pan. And mix it a little bit more in here. Make sure it's all. And I always like to get every last little bit. And then this recipe, also, I like to add garlic to this recipe. I like to bake the cauliflower with garlic. Now you can do it with the garlic, with or without the garlic, but I'm going to add the garlic. And sometimes I add a lot of garlic. But today I'm going to add about 5 cloves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so just depending on how much your family likes garlic, you can add more garlic to this, or you can use less. So You know the easy way to peel a lot of garlic all at once? Instead of me peeling it like this, here's what you do. Ready? This is going to be kind of loud. Voila! Just completely peeled. I don't do that when I'm just doing one peeled garlic, but when I'm doing, oh, this one didn't quite get it. When I'm doing 4 or 5, I do that, or more, I do that. So that's the easy way to get your garlic peeled. And get it into your, so now we've got everything all nice and coated with the turmeric, and the paprika just adds a really nice kind of smoky flavor. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bake this for about 20 minutes at 350, and everybody's different. Everybody's stove is different, and you have to decide like how crunchy you like your cauliflower or how mushy you like it. You don't want to turn it into mush, but so about 20 minutes on 350, and then what I do is I pull it out and I add 2 tablespoons of coconut oil at that point, and do like the last, like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes with the coconut oil. See, I don't want to just be cooking this in fat and overcooking the fat all the time. So it's mostly cooking, the moisture is mostly in the vegetable and in the water. And then at the very end, I add a little bit of fat, mix it all in, and cook it for just a couple minutes to give it like a little bit more of a roasted flavor, okay? So let's get this into the oven. Take it out and then just cook it for just a couple minutes longer. I'm just gonna add a little bit of coconut oil and then just mix it around. And it'll just give it a little bit crispier. The fat will just bring out the flavor a little more. Again, it's good like this, but there's just this extra little thing that happens. And again, I don't like to cook it the whole time with fat, so I cook it mostly with water. And then at the very end, I add a little fat. And we're gonna cook this for about 2 more minutes. Get it on the table. And I like to, this is a good time to just add a little sprinkle of salt and garnish it with little, there you have a delicious turmeric roasted cauliflower. Okay, so what you can do with your turmeric roasted cauliflower now is turn it into a hummus. And this is really good. So when I love hummus, we eat hummus. It's a really good quick to go snack, or something that, you know, you can grab a bite. But our hummus is filled with herbs and vegetables. So I often put in 2 cups of some other kind of vegetable. I'll use roasted beets, roasted parsnips, but today we have our turmeric roasted cauliflower. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in 2 cups of turmeric roasted cauliflower. We're gonna put in 1.5 cups of chickpeas, already cooked chickpeas. You can cook them yourself, or you can use a can. If you're gonna use canned ones, make sure it's BPA free, make sure they're organic, okay? Then we're gonna put in, you know, again, you can use water, you can use vegetable broth, bone broth, whatever kind of broth. And this is like about 1/2 cup, but people like different consistencies of their hummus. Some people like really runny, you know, so, but I use about 1/2 cup, and we'll see what today calls for. Then I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of tahini. And with this one, I'm just gonna put in 1 garlic. Some people like more garlic. And I'm gonna put in about 1/4 cup of lemon. Okay, ready? Here we go. Okay, so this needs a little bit more moisture. And you know, sometimes vegetable, sometimes it's the season, you just never know. So this is gonna be more like 1 cup of broth in this batch. And also cauliflower is a dry vegetable. even when you feel it, it feels kind of crunchy and dry. It's not like beets. Beets have a lot more water. And so depending on the vegetable, the roasted vegetable that you add, or like another roasted vegetable, I'll do like roasted red bell peppers. And that has more mucilaginous quality and moisture, but the cauliflower is a little bit dry. So sometimes you have to add more liquid. Okay, yum, yum, yum. So you can just put this on the table. You can dip veggies into it. It's great in lunches. Yeah, this is a great snack. I'll sometimes just put it on the table and people use it as like a condiment. Just garnish it with a little bit of cilantro. And we usually have something on our table that looks like this. And this is our garnish. There's always something a little different on here. Let's see, this is definitely the cayenne, that's the paprika. So we keep this on our table because you add carminatives with your spices. So if it were me, so you could just garnish this with a little paprika. That looks really nice. You also could put a little bit of cayenne. And there you have, so my family, they don't even know the vegetables are in there. Well, they kind of know because of the yellow color. And when you put the beets in, you definitely know they're in there, but you don't really know how much vegetable is in there. There's a lot of good vegetable in there and a lot of good herbs and spices. And so hummus is one of those amazing substances that's just a great place to sneak in extra herbs and spices, extra vegetables. And so there you have it. Okay, we are gonna make some yummy cauliflower soup. So what are we gonna do? First of all, I have some pumpkin seeds that I'm roasting slightly over here because we're going to garnish the soup with that. So I just got that going, but be careful not to burn that. And then, so here, first we're gonna put our spices in, and then I'm gonna sweat the onions, and then I'm gonna add everything else. So this has, what I'm doing here is I'm putting 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. Then I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of coriander, and about a half a teaspoon of salt. And you can put in 1 or 2 bay leaves, like that. And we're gonna just make sure not to burn our spices, but just get the aroma going. Just cook them like this, medium high for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, oh, I can smell the cinnamon. It smells so good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've got the spices so that they're doing their thing. And now what I'm going to do is I've got minced up here 1 large yellow onion. This is about a little bit over a cup. And I'm going to mix the onion, get all the spices all mixed in really well with the onion. And so I want to cook the onions until they're soft and translucent. And so what I'm going to do to do that is I'm going to add a half a cup of either water or any kind of broth. And I'm going to sweat the onions. I'll put it on high, and I'm just going to cook this until the water is gone. And the water is going to cook the onions. And then as soon as all the liquid is gone, we'll be able to continue with our soup. Okay, so we've got these onions pretty well cooked up. And so now what I want to do is remove the bay leaf. You don't want people chomping on bay leaf. And then I'm going to add about 2 cups of turmeric-roasted cauliflower. And just get that all mixed in. Okay, this is going to make a delicious soup. All right, so I've just got my cauliflower and onion and spices. Oh, I got 1 more bay leaf in there. Pull that out. All right, so now I'm going to take this over to the Cuisinart and mix it up. Okay, so what we're going to do is We're going to put everything into the Cuisinart. So, got our onions, all our good spices. Everything out of here, get all this good spice. Okay. All right, so it's lunchtime. Seriously, lunchtime. Okay, from here, I'm going to put in some butternut squash. There's a lot of different ways to break down a butternut squash. Some people peel it and cook it. Some people dice and cook it. I just throw the whole thing in there. Open it up, put part of it in the refrigerator, save it. Scoop all the stuff out of it. So this is a butternut squash, so we're going to add about a cup of butternut squash to this delicious soup. So just going to scoop that straight in there. That's the nice thing about the butternut. It kind of separates really easily from the skin. Get just a little bit more. Okay, so from here, now you're going to add your liquid. And so I'm going to put in 1 can of, you want fair trade organic coconut milk. Yum. And then now, depending on how you're going to add your broth, whatever kind of broth you use. Let's see how much this takes. Then I'm just going to mix it up. Add a little bit of salt and add a little bit of pepper. And here we go. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Oh, oh, that looks good. Yum, yum. So I just ladle my soup. You can garnish it with some fresh herb, parsley, chives. These are some fresh chopped chive. And then we also go over to our little, what do we got over here? I'm going to put a little bit of cayenne pepper in here. Okay, this is a good soup. I'm hungry. Great. So there's your yummy cauliflower soup with your squash, all your herbs and spices, just super yum. So there you have it.